In this video, we're going to look at what staff development is, why it's so important, and the key differences between staff development and training. As a reminder, training is a range of activities that gives employees work-related skills and knowledge, all with the aim of making them better at their jobs. It's very specific to a worker's job, and it's more short-term. We've talked a fair amount over the past few videos about the importance of training and the various ways that it can be delivered. But what do we mean when we talk about staff development? Well, staff development is about the overall growth of the employee, and it's longer term, teaching knowledge and skills that will be useful to both the business and the employee at some time in the future. It's more of a long-term play. You invest in your people for the future, hoping they will spend that future working for you. Employee training is focused on the short term. It helps a worker to be better at their job right now. Its aim is to give employees the skills that they need to be able to carry out their job role. It's often very specific, so for example, learning how to use a particular piece of equipment in the business, learning how to use Excel, or learning about a company's health and safety policies. Staff development looks much more long-term and is less about learning how to do a specific task or gaining a specific skill, and more about the overall growth or development of that employee. It helps them develop the attitudes and skills that they will need in the future, skills that they can use throughout their career, and that may also be helpful to them in their personal lives. To all the teachers out there, show all of these videos without any ads and gain access to our growing library of over 500 teaching worksheets. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? In this video, we're going to meet Abby. Abby has just started a role as a graduate trainee with Comtech Inc., a forward-thinking technology company. Think Google, massive offices, and lots of creativity everywhere you turn. Comtech thinks big, and it looks for employees who can think even bigger. They have offices in Silicon Valley and in London. Comtech views their employees as one of their key strengths, and they invest a lot of time and money into making Comtech a great place to work. As well as having very cool offices, a generous holiday allowance, and great pay compared to lots of other graduate jobs, Comtech has a staff development program. These programs usually have some quirky name, and this one is no different. Here at Comtech, the program is called the Development Mindset Scheme. This focuses on increasing its employees' long-term career potential, with the aim of developing each employee to be as useful to the company as possible. At Comtech, the management team is of course aware that employees need to learn specific skills to help them do their day-to-day jobs, such as learning coding and programming skills, or the use of software packages and technology platforms. But this is all training, giving them a skill that they need now. But they have also realised that to improve the long-term potential of their employees and to achieve the company's long-term vision, it's important for them to invest both time and money in the development of their people for the future. Not just what they need from them now, but what they could become and how useful they could actually be. Comtech encourages its employees to spend time with their colleagues in other departments so that they can learn about the whole organisation and how it all fits together. Comtech also runs lunch and learn sessions every day in their offices. There is a huge variety of topics including CV writing, showing appreciation to your colleagues, dealing with stress, how to approach difficult conversations, and how to raise your professional profile. There's also a huge range of online courses that Abby can access. Some are work-related, such as learning more about programming, and some focus more on life skills like time management and mindfulness. There is no obligation for Abby to complete this learning. It's simply just there if he wants it. So you should be beginning to develop a picture of just how Comtech is investing in the long-term development of their staff. It's clearly essential that employees have the training that they need to give them the skills to be able to do their jobs, otherwise nothing would get done. But staff development is based on a longer-term vision, so its effects run deeper and they can last longer. It aims to give employees a genuine love of learning that they want to share with one another. However, many companies don't invest much in staff development, focusing on training for most of their employees and only spending time and money on development for the most senior members of staff. Organisations like Comtech that focus on personal and professional development, as well as training, are more likely to have engaged, motivated staff who are likely to stay with the business. But let's now explore in a little more detail some of the key differences between staff training and staff development. Training is more about giving employees skills in the short term, and development is more long term, looking to the future. Training addresses the knowledge or skills workers need in a short period of time. 1 day, 1 week, several months. It could be a course on how to use Excel or training in how to use a specific piece of equipment, such as a till in a shop. Development, on the other hand, focuses on the long term. It can take place over months or even years. The company is aiming to develop employees so that they are ready to take the next step in their career. Training has very specific, well-defined objectives, such as learning how to use a computer program or learning about a specific company policy. Development, on the other hand, has much more broader objectives and can cover all types of knowledge and skills, including changing habits and improving people skills. It may also change over time, depending on the needs of the business and the employee in question. Training tends to be aimed at groups of workers. They may attend a course or be taught a skill in groups, but generally, even if employees are trained at different times, the training they receive will be pretty similar. The responsibility of making sure that that training is successful is mainly down to the person delivering the training. However, development focuses much more on the individual and is much more personalised than training. In fact, here, the employee themselves is expected to take much more responsibility for their own development. Bring this video and over 100 more to life with fun, interactive games, quizzes, and case studies. Why not try the first 25 completely free by visiting BizzWizard.co.uk. So let's have a look at just a few of the reasons a company like Comtech would want to invest in staff development. Investing in staff development will improve the level and quality of employees' work. It teaches them new skills and it broadens their understanding so they can produce better results. Staff development will also allow employees to become more independent in the workplace. In turn, this will free up time of managers and other members of staff. Of course, this will increase productivity levels across the board, meaning more work is being produced. Having good staff development measures in place will give employees increased motivation to do their job well. They will feel valued and appreciate that you have taken the time to train them and improve their skills. This should give them an incentive and provide them with greater motivation to carry out the job to the best of their ability. And finally, staff development can lead to increased teamwork. Often, staff development will involve a lot of collaboration and one-on-one time together with a mentor, which is a great way to learn to work and get to know fellow staff members. A happy team that gets along will produce a brilliant working atmosphere. There are many other benefits to developing your staff, and I believe that the pros outweigh the cons. But as always, we must consider the other side of the argument. If staff development is such an amazing thing, why is every business not investing in it? Each of the video courses over at BizzWizard.co.uk also includes an interactive business case study that applies the knowledge learned to a real-world scenario. There are over 1,000 multiple-choice questions, each with detailed feedback, which tests students' understanding of the content. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? Well, it really comes down to two major disadvantages. The first is that, unfortunately, staff development takes a lot of time. This time is usually taken out of the working day, which could affect the work and productivity levels in the business. This time could be used to achieve many other business objectives, so choosing to use it for staff development can be a risk. And then there's the fact that staff development comes at a cost. Often external training providers and advanced courses are needed for good quality staff development. These can often be pretty pricey, and sometimes the business may not have the budget to accommodate it. The cost of staff development isn't the only cost issue. Often, when staff have been given development in their roles, by broadening their skills, they expect compensation for this, in the form of a pay rise. Again, this might be something the company, for financial reasons, is unable to do, which may mean that employees go to work for another business after all that development that you have done, and in a sense, your investment in that employee has vanished. Our main example, Abby, is really excited to be working for a company like Comtech, who value his development and his long-term career so much. He's looking forward to being part of such an exciting culture. He hopes to become a manager in the future, and he knows that the staff development that Comtech offers will give him the skills and confidence that he needs to reach his true potential. Remember that improving staff development can be a good recommendation when answering a question regarding many different topics, such as low employee motivation, high staff turnover, or low productivity. In many cases, some of your newest employees may be the future of your entire business, and your ability to develop them over time may be the key to unrivaled success. This has been the BizzWizard. See you in